recognized form of the anger. So directly, I will say for us to, for us who has not done some sort of, like a foundation, mudras and mahamudras, some sort of, formal practices, a good foundation, to recognize directly the nature of anger is not something very easy. That is the reason why I think in my talk, I told that Holiness said, there's 3 ways depending on your level of realization: remembering impermanence, developing compassion, and recognizing the nature of the anger. So I think it is one of the advanced level. Whether you can or not depends very much upon you. But I will say that how you practice it will be when the anger arises in our mind, instead of reacting that or sort of grasping to that emotion that I am angry, or that that I am angry, letting usually how we do is when something arises in our mind, we sort of immediately grasp that emotion, and then another chain comes, chain of emotion arises. So rather, when the anger comes, not reacting it, but just leaving it as it is, not reacting to it in no positive, no negative way, it will slowly subside back into the nature of your mind. And after all, even the anger also, if you check thoroughly, doesn't exist, there's nothing or some sort of substance. So that's why I think you all know that during the Ngondro, when you finish the Ngondro practice, there's a period where you relax in the nature of your mind. You do not grasp at what you see, nor you reject it. That same method can be applied to recognizing the nature of your anger.
So Rinpoche says right now he don't remember exactly which are those 4. However, he got some other information about details. So should we go for the second question? Tiwaniwatina dido yuni shutsa ne sumjutsani karinas songto.
Yuni shutsa she said that dagi puli ramata, zalen darata, this is this demshonal yabadi. Dagi kingonala shady jagales.
No, these they're asking about the 24, and then I think they're talking about 32 regions. So this was exactly what was explained in the previous teaching, which was done by Jensen Rinpoche while he was talking about the mandala.
Hello. Kunji Bama Kavitan, to get Pina, Mabihona Pina, Tigo Chicken, Kusha Chadro, Chadati, Tangaso Somins, Susu, Tunana Mina, Pickets the Yen of Tangama, Shishash Euro.
No, sir. Now, these questions are basically kind of facts. So, if these questions are from any of the monks or nuns, I think you can easily refer to the references and you can get these facts and figures.
Thank you. We have one question. Whenever a negative thought comes up into our mind, is there any means to erase immediately the negative karma linked to it, like reciting a mantra or something?
Nganzugi Suzuki Samba Nalo, Jimmy Giver, Tachi Samlo Tende, Korean Begala, and Suzuyan Chik, Sungado Tende, and Mandarin Chajane, and the Tigi, Tachi Migiver Leta, Chik, Samlong Yambataso, and the Pamebas, Tende Tashik in your ways.
Your Eminence Shey Rinpoche, would you like to take this one?
Dikashure Migivagi Toba, those chewing over Kablia, Ngandani, Kanningan, the Batamjita, Migivagi Toba, Nevacha Chagi Ayute, Nayang, the Migivagi Toba, the shar yong wake up so shar kanya shagir sem nala inji minji ki yakbo to ba shar goya jida inji minji ngembe ki to ba shar goya rangshu ki shagir mare kenjil tene shagi yugire de ina yang khaza kyangur rum chi song na shin che ne nang wa cham dila nang wa cham nang shar wa cham de nang wa re dine ine di ki jesu pa di jesu jung ne dil pha shemba man sim ba chungwa ina shemba de ma chungwa ji chungwa ina ani pejir di ki kasa 미개벽이 똑같이 래 숙청부 배제 사투기 여기 말에 삼삼도 정기도 근데 인도 잠발라 그래 분나외 미징신 베징스와 인자 나와 가야 난그래 콜카토야 요 말에 이나얀틸 셴 마신 세야 되더니 배제랑 때 컨트롤 조 메도 삼삼도 스트레스야
It's we are not very sure whether there is any mantra that can dispel the negativities. However, as His Holiness made it very clear, most important is you can have any kind of thoughts and visions, but the most important is that you should not chase those visions and thoughts. This is the best solution.
Thank you. We have one more question. Regarding the connection we keep with Rinpoches, my connection with Rinpoches is not always constant. I cut off often. How to eliminate the cause of this cutting off or unstable connection with Rinpoches?
The Rinpoche namanyamdole ngege devati jitange jundu undus manewa kapko tus devati chik samche dangin devati de yongudu jezan ta Rinpoche namanyamdola sozogi ta chik semgi devati sungumena tin devati eni chi jundin tole neale chi tapche da kariyo dans.
Your Eminence, Chogun Rinpoche, could you please help us answer this question?
The Tangu Shivine, the Yahuji Nikutsuma songs.
To be frank, I did not understand the question completely.
The Ina Yanganzu Keshishu the Pikashure. 소수게 rinpoche ne da kanda jikjidu zamba chujone jikjidan chagi bres.
Most important is when you address somebody as Rinpoche. Now this relationship is more from a dharma point of view.
Tende indu ane rinpoche diegi kare sung shabe ge da kanda sungjon na shabe labjan na shabe kolom na shabe di sosu go tona je di kan samota di gyuntuni chimina
most important is whatever the teachings, whatever the guidance given by the Rinpoche, if you follow those teachings and those guidance, I think that is the best way.
Thank you. Do we have any questions out in the audience?
Shinda Mantu on the Tibet in the Yana, Sorodans.
Someone is the microphone.
Hello, Namo Guru. Sometimes, mostly by refugee, I have a feeling that I cherish a lot of much more better understanding of life. And sometimes, through the practice, I have these moments with a lot of, well, like a sense of vacuum, but I mean, a sense that I would say perhaps it is Mahamudra. The question is, how, if it's a tip, a recommendation to recognize the state of Mahamudra, to be more sure of what is Mahamudra. Thank you.
Tibet is a good sermons. The India, Dodo Soya, the Koran Kichitangi, Sabenalo, Parton of the day, and the Lagudu, Chesatinde Betone, Chik Chochine, Tandati, Charge Chimpusungumena, Tindetone, Chik Yamlin, Chego Yavina, any charge Chimputi, Karishu Guyana, Mahamudra Sia, the Kandajil Goyana, Tindesungumena.
Your Eminence, Kyaltin Toku, we would be honored if you could help us answer this question.
Nandi Sempa Bardon, de Judy, then de Tantra Rick Mamboji ores.
There are different kinds of, having a kind of vacuum in your mind.
Then, Lumaten de Joyores, Lumating it all de Joyores. Lumaten, said Jores. Lumaten said, Samlo Sangbayan Tintimabaje, Samlo Nyambaya Tintimabaje. Then the Chita says, Yang de Batabujilla, then they do Jores.
There is also a state where your mind is kind of wandering, in a wandering state.
Then the same dending on the Bayina, then the Peggy Chashi, Timugi, because of what that Timugi Chashi.
So if you are in a state of wandering, when you don't have any specific thoughts, that is kind of a little, it's one of the obscurity.
Then a young Shiniki thing is in Jacomba, Rigby saying or the maybe thing is in Jabayina, then Shine or Tembo Saji, Segares in the Cuba, said or then they do you arrest. Shine Cuba, so what that Shine the Jambudi Maima, Salbudi Maima, then Shine Tom Tom G. about the Shine Cuba, Shigusa arrest.
Then there is another kind of, I think meditation, where when you don't have a clear vision, so there is kind of, a vision which is not very smart.
That didn't so council, then the chicken on a union which is one, then gom de lam not of yours.
So if you remain in this kind of two kind of states for a very long time, and then your meditation is going in wrong direction. Sometimes you have some kind of emptiness, but that also is not the Mahamudra. In one way, there is one way of saying is the Mahamudra is something very far off. Actually, it's something which is within your consciousness. So if you start recognizing and understanding your own consciousness, so that is also you can understand is a Mahamudra. So this is, of course, is not the real, the best one, but still it is a kind of Mahamudra. So in general, this is what the Mahamudra is described. So of course, for the introduction of path, so you have to follow the different paths, and you have to follow different stages. This is what my answer is for your question.
Thank you very much. Do we have another question? I think maybe we should move over to the Asian side.
Since all the beings in samsara are suffering, when we reach enlightenment, do we still suffer when we see the suffering of all beings?
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Since all the beings in samsara are suffering, when we reach enlightenment, do we still suffer when we see the suffering of all beings?
Korangi Tiwatilia, Chief Simjan Tamjin Kovenalia, Tunga Yangu Sonza, Penazia, Sangi Kovan, Penalana Muto, which I should tobaina, Simjingi, Tungel, Siche, Tuli, Kona Younger Yomare, Sejimra.
That's just the translation of the question.
Ah. Your Eminence, would you all like to also answer the translated question?
I think the concept of suffering itself is very much a samsaric conception. Like we say, nothing exists as it appears to be, like our precious Guru always says. So suffering also doesn't exist as it appears to be, and same goes for happiness. So of course, when you realize enlightenment, I don't think it's possible for you to be suffering, because that illusion, that misunderstanding is not there. Then there comes a question: how does, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, how does the Buddhas benefit people? Then it's answered in the Shantideva that like a sun, like a wish-fulfilling tree, it's effortless, without any ego. It's a very effortless compassion, effortless activity.
Thank you. I think we have quite a few questions in Drukpa Asia. If we can take some on that side of the room.
Thank you. 请问要如何踏出我们竹巴传承释迦行的第一步呢？
谢谢。Wincy, can you please help us translate the question? I only got the 谢谢 part.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
I think what I heard is Rinpoche, Venerable Rinpoche, how do we start to practice the non-draw within the Drukpa lineage? Can you please explain to us? Thank you.
Your Eminence, Chogun Rinpoche, would you like to help us answer this question, please?
Pending Drubeki, Mundro Yamlin Jedan Rawa, the mixes, Shanda Mara, mixes a Gayo Mare, Kagaremia, Gorim Jevayina, the Nechi Mondo, Loda Nambashis, Nangi Mondo, Jamro, Semge, Dorsem, the Ne doesn't come de Mandra, Lamen and Yoshis, the Chinagi Mondo Ni, Shiores, the Lamondo Shiosegis, the Garanes.
There isn't any very, very different the preliminary going to practice in Drukpa. However, the outline where you have to, the basic 4 stages of Lodot Namchi, or the understanding the sufferings, and then understanding the basic the sufferings of the world, samsaras. So, and then we have the refuge, and then we have the Guru Yoga. So I think there's another stage also. So all these 4 are also there in Drukpa, the practice of the preliminary Ngundo.
Thank you. I think we have time for about 2 more questions.
I'm doing this question for Michel from the Tahiti Sangha. He says, normally we don't receive teachings upon the subject of the emptiness of time, the absence of time, timelessness. The teachings we receive are about physical emptiness, not timelessness. Would it be possible to introduce these subjects into our teachings? Thank you.
Tanda Korangi jik tuzu ngeme da entine tanda susu luge jik tombani 지 딘데 고지 손스티 림부치 넘어서 지 공괴나 지 손로나 예 자자지 고쳐마서
Korangi Tivadelia. Chitalamana Kashu Nandikaso, Chingubi Tombani Seji, Kame Mato Bege, Tushinyabani Seji, Takame Dishkolia, Shiranang Mido, Tushinyabani Kolia, Tosoro Nashuyuta.
That was the translation of the question.
Dan Dishi Nyambani said, Ngarasoya, the Ngondonala, Kunlong Kunje Kapula, Kunlong Kapla Tungere. That day, the Kunlong Kapla, then Evangadis and Eta, Pinsos of Bangadin Kapla Tungere. Didn't do it, and do she said, they been do, Maon been do, that they been do sumdi, Chitare. Do sumlin, they been do chilla, do Tijimi been did and do she segre. That thing also the Sarmagi Cheketone Shevaina. Do Taco Jungi Colos Labere. You make it shaken on a Sevan and Dushina Banigaransis. Dushina Banigaransis share the idea, Pagini Magondo Tisana Tungere. And also the Kajuki Modotisana and do Taco Jungi Colos at Tungere. That did and also some Lotonju maybe Dushi Ladene or Dushi Sishavare or Tendegi.
The Injito Shutumaso.
That day, I also did Devin do said the Kazan that Nimasum of Sebaina, counter to Deva de Drosarava, that Deva de Drosai dure. Mom, but then the Shine Yonju be disudere. The Tata lay like a kind of Jason by the dure, they let do some Sitioreda. They learn do Shivadi, that do some let Deva in the do suit of Tiji may be duty. The Lanyambani do say, do Shivadi. That Yamani duty and also say, Mare, that the Sanjiki duty, Mare. Do Shivadi.
And those.
Jinchi may be duty, let do she said, Labiore.
Those. Injito Shutumas.
I think Rinpoche has explained that the 4 times. Normally there is 3 times, past, present, and future. So past is the thing which is past, how to say, comparing to today. And future is something which will come. So that is called 3 times. But the other one is beyond that, timeless. You know, time is something which is, how to say, due to today's concept, you know, due to today's concept or grasp, there is yesterday. But yesterday does not exist because due to day before yesterday, it wasn't yesterday, but it becomes today, and so forth. So therefore, the how to say, the 4th time is something which is beyond sentient beings' conception. I don't know how I understood, but what I understood is something like that.
Thank you very much for helping me.
Thank you. Due to our modern 21st century efforts to become a little bit more technologically savvy, we have a question from our live webcast for our last question. The question is, what is the difference between affection to family as opposed to attachment to family? How do we deal with this?
Tanda chiwa di tanda chage to webcast on chiwa chumbujiresha di chiwa di tama insungi chidangi ta chi sosu gi ne pame to la pama da nami tinde to chi shenja da tinde dan dewa to ne chi kande chego yome dewa tinde chi insare.
Your Eminence, Control Rinpoche, would you like to help us answer this question, please?
I think the difference will be when you truly, but frankly speaking, you know, it all goes back to realizing the emptiness. Without the realization of emptiness, most of our love and care will definitely have sense of attachment. But let's say, let's not go high into the emptiness, but generally speaking, or I'll say relatively speaking, when your affection is very much controlled, your affection is contributed by your attachment. Attachment means I. So that means your families better do what you want. They better follow the image that you have in mind. The moment they, differs from the image that you have or the concept you have or how your family should be, your love starts to disappear. The love and compassion that the Buddha taught is selfless, without conditional. Unconditional love is what will make the true difference between attachment and genuine love and compassion.
Rinpoche Songya ki nyen den dinge chu chu ach nenga chu chu chik di ta so so ge ta chik pama na excuse me pama da na mi tin de li chi shen cha yo de di na chi so so ge sam na nenga chu chu chik di ne gong du so ma na xin chen nenga chu chu di ta so so chik tong ba ni di gong gang go yo ta tong ba ni si de shi bu chi che to bo tin de men be to ta ene lak den du chi tong ba so ma na xin chen nenga chu chu chik di any sosugi da chik shindale tsewa ta chik de da chik chamba yewte so any dile chik sosugi an dile chu keben da tinde ki samshi mebe ki tone en tinde ki da chik ninje da chamba tine yewin bina en ti tawshe ya sho de res.
Your Eminence She Rinpoche, since you are a family man, do you have anything to add to how to properly love your family members?
I'm not the only one who has family. Drukpa Rinpoche also has got family.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, I think if you look from other dimension, we are all a family because we are sharing this planet, if you want to say, on which, due to our own common karma, we are here. So therefore, we are all breathing the same air. We are drinking the same water. We are, nourished by the same warmth of the sun. So therefore, actually, if you think in that way, all the sentient beings, all the creatures who are on this planet is a family. But now, due to our own desire again, selfishness, so therefore, we kind of divide that into many parts. First of all, let's say my country, I'm from such and such country, that's your country. So therefore, due to that, your attachment, or maybe if you want to call it love, but maybe it won't be so good to call compassion. But due to that, you partial them. And then you could, so forth, even in your country, you divide that into district and states and so on, and then to your village and your house and your apartments, and then, obviously, ultimately you get into your family.
Chidang chebi na ngonzo gi ta chingzamuli dina shinerin jiten dina lo la ene ngonzo nangmi sidu ta dina lo ne dingye gi ena na lo ta jiten digi nangi ta chine dingye simjin sama nangmi ji gi ji ngunzi na na digi yore kaisna ta zamuli dina lo jiten dina ne dingye gi ta chi sa chu me lu re tinde gi ta chi na lo gi chu kariyo ne tu sama ene nyamdo le ene chi lons chu gu yore tinde indu en chame gi tinde gi ta chi nami chi ngunzi na chu gu yore yine chitang gi ta chi ki nang se tol ene yese che yun ba ga ta so so long ba chi wa chong ba chi wa tinde gi ta chi ndu she ya yese da tinde da tinde gi ta chi ke ka so 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 ngunzi cha tinde gi ta pa yese che be na tinde ngunzi cha yong gu yore.
So due to this partiality, we get a lot of problems, which is very clearly, which we can see. You know, we divide this earth, let's say about this planet, forget about the universe. But this planet itself, we have demarcated, we have partial, we have divided into many parts, which is generally, it is a, how to say, a round planet. But due to our human beings' perceptions or desire, we have divided into this into many parts. And then not that only the earth, but even ocean, even sky, we try to divide and say this is mine and this is yours and so on. So therefore, we create a lot of problems, problems for others as well as to yourself. Actually, we have divided that to protect ourselves. We feel completely, how to say, unsecured. But due to this, as I mentioned, you know, we create all these problems. So therefore, most important thing is that to have understanding, which is normally it has mentioned in Dharma, the bodhicitta, or understanding that everyone is equal as yourself. You know, we like to have the joy, and you want to get rid of the suffering. We are all equally same. So therefore, you do not have to, you know, especially a technique to care your family, so therefore, so due to no,
hello, Chida Chavina, that Zamulin did a Chashavin Bine, and in Zamulin Dinangi, that's so sugi, that you ko Jik Tawatan, Tindegi, that you dancing that in the Soda Temple Chetu, and in Zamlingi, Sajaba, Jacob Soso Chagucha, Tinashingi, any sign, Nami Nere, Tinashipa, Chagucha, Tindegtoni, that Chagucha in Bagam, Chidangi, Sosugi, that you top down in the temples where Chachi in a tigation that the Kangi Moposoguore, in a Nengachu Chikdi, Tindegi Tachik, you do Kangi Chagur, in a Nengachu Chikdi, and a Sosugita, on the Somanashin, and a Negachu, and a Semchigi, some of the Chombi in Bina, and a Rande Shinjigi, some of the Chona, and Tene, Chitangi, Tachik Nami, some in the Sosugi, touching Nami told him Bine, and a Chik Shiti, Tenlinda, Chik Tundi, Dewaya Yungu, Tindegi. And is charging the Tonguyori.
So therefore, being as a Buddhist parent, it is best to nourish your family's consciousness with that kind of education and with that kind of a nourishment, or with that kind of a advices if you can give. I think that is the best way to bring up your family into peace or into happiness.
Tinde in Betone, any sort of Nangba Yamne Ching in Bechane, and Tindegi, that chick so samno, any champagne is some nota, any the Semjik is some notoni, she shall be in Bina, any sort of Nami de Yawajik, Yatsalon Cheata, and Jikuru de Yawotuya, Tindetol, and to be so great.
On behalf of everyone here, I'd like to thank these wonderful, precious masters, Kyabje Kanto Rinpoche, Kyabje Chogun Rinpoche, Kyabje She Rinpoche, and Kyabje Gyaltsen Tolku. Thank you so much for this rare opportunity, and all the great masters who have taught during ADC. From the depth of my heart and of my fellow Sangha, we are so proud to be part of this glorious and mighty lineage. And thank you for including us for this wonderful event and giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much. We are so blessed.
Welcome. Now this next program is a presentation by different centers of their Live to Love activities. And just to give a brief introduction what this Live to Love, the activities are, I have a brief introduction without taking much time. Live to Love is a project that was introduced last year by on His Holiness' birthday. According to His Holiness Yawan Drukpa, it is time for colleagues, students, and friends of the 800-year-old Drukpa lineage to expand and extend the idea of Live to Love to everyone in the individual communities, regardless of the faith, nationalities, cultural backgrounds, other conditions. It is His Holiness' hope that all connected with the Drukpa lineage and the Live to Love project will be able to share their love and happiness with all involved. The success of Live to Love purely depends on all present here, how much we can do in our community, how much we can give with education, medical facilities, relief, aid in times of natural or man-made disasters, preserving spiritual and heritage places and the environment. In short, Live to Love is a compassion in action and a practical way of developing compassion within oneself. Thank you. The first item will be presented by Flore. I'm sorry if I didn't say the pronounce nicely. Anyway, the first item will be presented by Flore from France.
Next, we have Jonathan with Drukpa Paris.
Your Holiness and precious masters, I'm going to give a brief presentation of the activities of Live to Love in Paris. Is it clear enough? Okay. So at the Paris Center, in fact, we had many meetings to discuss the subject of Live to Love. All those who were aspiring to act or who had ideas and projects were invited to take part in our meetings so that together we could determine the scope of our actions and especially try and find means of how to put them into practice. But it soon became very clear that we didn't have consistent results. So when we first asked ourselves what a Live to Love action consisted in, we soon realized, in fact, that every person in the room had their own idea, and that before determining a common course of action, we had to allow each person to give their opinion and express themselves. So, with all these ideas, how could we harmoniously bring together love, compassion, and action? Of course, we were beginners. We were quite clumsy, and so we tried to find the best interpretation for each of everybody's ideas. And so, in fact, we also rapidly realized that we were actually losing track of our initial purpose. And it was only when His Holiness asked, "What are you actually doing in Paris?" that we really started thinking. And we finally got rid of all this theory which was initially blocking us. The first actions that we carried out only involved members of the Paris board, people who are usually involved in current affairs and activities of the center. And however, Live to Love, in fact, revolutionized our organization and made us reflect on how to develop a more outward action and go beyond the limits of our Dharma center. In Paris, as in most major cities, people pass by one another without actually meeting